In 1946, in the Soviet Union, a young boy runs away from a group of other boys who are after him. A girl named Svetlana watches them and tells the bullies to stop bothering the boy. As they look for him, he hides behind a tractor, but they don't find him. Svetlana throws a rock at the bully and runs to him. She hits him, and he and his friends leave because they don't want to hit her. The boy comes out and tells her he's glad she helped him. She asks him why he doesn't fight back, and he says it's because he doesn't want to hurt the boys. He shows off his superpowers by carrying her in the air as he flies. In 1955, a reporter says that the Soviet Superman is just a piece of propaganda. Lex Luthor calls the President of the United States and tells him that he is looking forward to Superman's arrival. When his wife, Lois Lane, walks into the room, he asks for permission to drop a satellite on Metropolis. After Lex talks to her, they kiss. In the meantime, Premier Stalin announces that the biggest hydroelectric dam in the world is now open. He says nice things about Superman and gets him to give a speech. Superman talks about keeping the people united, and the crowd cheers. He flies up to the top of the dam where he pulls a lever to turn it on. In Metropolis, a satellite falls out of orbit, and as it heads toward the city, people start to worry. When Superman shows up, he pushes it into the water. He talks to the people and tells them that he understands why they are afraid of him. Superman is talking about unity when Lois Lane walks up to him and says she wants to talk to him. He says the media is an enemy of the state, but she says he is scared and he flies away. Lois is standing on a roof when Superman comes to talk to her. He tells her he doesn't have any fears and that the Soviets broke the satellite. Superman says he imagined a world without pain, but Lois Lane says there are holes in his idea of a perfect world. She gives him a file, and when he reads it, he is shocked. As he gives her the file, he flies away. Superman goes into a secret Soviet base after he gets there. He figures out that the elevator's walls are made of lead, so he can't see through them. When he gets off the elevator, he sees a number of people working in the mine. A woman walks out, and when Superman sees that she is Svetlana, he catches her as she falls. He breaks down the gate and makes everyone freeze in their thoughts. Superman talks to Svetlana, and she tells him not to blame himself for their situation. She tells him to use his powers to help people, but he dies. Superman talks to Stalin and asks him why his people would kill so many of them. Stalin says that they need to die and that they need to get rid of the weak and corrupt people in order for their country to grow. He says that some people have to die for the system to work, and Superman kills him with his heat vision. Some soldiers walk in, but instead of fighting back, they bow to Superman. They ask what they have to do, and Superman starts to cry as he tells them that he has to save the world. In Metropolis, Lois talks to Lex and walks into the bathroom while he is reading the newspaper. She gets a phone call from a man who tells her that Stalin has died and that Moscow is in chaos. Lex says that everything is going as planned, and he doesn't make mistakes. When Lex walks into his lab, he sees Special Agent Olsen there. They walk into a room and see that Superman moved the satellite. Lex warns a scientist to be careful because he needs Superman's DNA to make a clone. In Korea, Superman decides to fight against the Americans in order to free the Korean people. In 3 hours, the war will be over, and he will be their leader. He talks to the press and says that he can make life better for the people of Korea. In the meantime, Olsen tells Lois how happy he is that she is now the chief editor. She gives Lex a gift and tells him he forgot their anniversary. When they get to a building, Lex goes up on stage to talk about his new invention. He says that the United States has a living weapon and shows off Superior Man, which is a copy of Superman. He shows off the technology and says it's powerful enough to beat Superman. Superman dances with Wonder Woman and tells her that he is glad she is there. She says that she agrees with what he is doing and that the Amazons can't hide forever. Lex stands next to the Superior Man and watches as he flies away. As Wonder Woman leaves, Superman talks to her and tells her not to worry about Superior Man. Superman says it's not possible for her to be a bridge between the countries. Superior Man comes in after Wonder Woman leaves. He hurts the city a lot by attacking Superman. When Superman gets mad, he flies away, and Superior Man goes after him. They fight in a place with no one around, and Superman wins. Lex tells his scientists to send Superior Man more power, which makes him stronger. Superior Man is getting more and more powerful, but Superman still has the upper hand. As he gets worse and realizes Lex sent him, Superman holds him and yells at Lex for making life and then killing it. She walks away angry, and Lex says he's sorry. In 1961, the Berlin Wall goes up, but Superman comes along and breaks it down. He says that the wall was built to make people slaves and then flies away. A reporter says that it won't be long before Superman takes over Western Europe. Brainiac's ship attacks, and Superman fights it. He takes over a city and tries to get away on a ship, but Superman destroys it. In 1966, tourists went to the People's Museum in Moscow. The woman in charge talks about Brainiac's attacking and says that Superman uses technology to make their country better. Batman sends out a strange message saying that Superman isn't a good leader. He tells them they have 10 minutes before he sets off a bomb in the museum. As people try to get out, the bomb goes off right away, and he says he told them they had 10 seconds. There are a number of explosions around the city, and the military is looking for Batman. He gets away from them, but several helicopters crash because of it. Superman gets everyone out of the city and finds a number of dead civilians. When he sees some Batman fans running away, he goes after them. He gets to the men, but he tells them that Batman messed with their minds and that he can fix them. A woman is holding her baby in a building that is on fire, and the baby is crying because they can't get out. The building starts to fall apart, but Wonder Woman saves them just in time. She brings them outside and gives them to the fire department. When she meets Superman, she asks, what kind of person would cause so many deaths and problems? She thinks that men are to blame for what Batman does. But Superman tells her that not all men are like Batman. He promises that he will find Batman in Nevada. 1967, Lex walks with the president, and the two of them go into a secret base where they see an alien ship. Jordan is shocked that the ship has the Green Lantern symbol on it. Lex tells them that the ship is made of a strange metal, and then he shows them what they found inside the ship. They see a dead alien with a strange ring on its finger lying on a table. Lex says that the ring is a strong weapon and that it will take decades to make another one. Howell asks why they are telling him this, and the president says that he wants to know how to run the new military brand. Superman walks into a room and tells Wonder Woman that almost all of the work is done on his dream city. He says everything will work as well as a Swiss watch in the city. Brainiac, who works for Superman now, comes out and gives the daily growth numbers for the Soviet Union. Superman asks Wonder Woman what's wrong when she looks upset. She says that her mother wants to close down their embassy because she doesn't like how Superman does things. Superman says that his ways are temporary and won't be used once he has made the world perfect. He says that because people are different from Amazonians, they can't be as good as them. He also says that the United States is about to fall apart. Brainiac suggests that Superman invade the United States and take over. But Superman says no and says he will build the country back up from the ashes. Wonder Woman says to Superman that she still trusts him. Later, Superman has dinner with an ambassador and asks him why he doesn't feel comfortable around him. The ambassador admits that he is afraid of Superman and says so. They hear an explosion, and Superman sees the bat symbol in flames. He runs toward Wonder Woman when he hears her scream. Batman controls her with her lasso, and he says that he wants to kill Superman. Superman sees a bomb in Batman's chest, so Batman turns on red sun lamps and attacks Superman while telling him to get used to the pain. Superman says that he saved everyone, but Batman says he is self-centered and only wants to change the world to make it like him. He locks Superman in a room and tells him that he will take back the country. Wonder Woman says that Batman is a monster and that all men are like him. When she breaks the lasso, she gets weaker. She walks to the energy generator and destroys it, which turns off the red sun lamps. Superman comes out and tells him that he will fix him with brain surgery. Batman blows himself up by setting off the bomb in his chest. Wonder Woman turns down Superman's offer to help because she says men make the world a mess. She breaks the bond with Superman and flies away. In 1983, Superman watches as Lex is elected president of the United States. He uses his knowledge to change the country and make things better. Superman says that Lex is the best at spreading false information, and Brainiac gives facts about America. Brainiac tells Superman that he is just a machine after Superman yells at him. He says that Superman should attack America and swallow it up. Superman says he won't choose, and he says he won't. He hears a warning, and they look up to see several flying things coming toward them. Jordan leads a group of soldiers with Green Lantern rings. They see a man who looks like Superman coming toward them. He knocks some soldiers out of the sky. How does she tell the men to stay put? As they fight, they're so focused that they trap Superman in a box and shrink it as he tries to get out. Wonder Woman comes out and distracts the men so they can free Superman. Superman thanks her for helping him, but she tells him she's not on his side and wants to bring the two countries together. Superman says Lex will turn her against him, but she says he will only do that if he attacks her. When he does, she stops him and compares him to other men. She says that the Amazons don't want anything to do with men anymore, and she flies away. Superman attacks, and the soldiers fall to the ground. He tells Brainiac that he is right, and that they will have to go straight for Lex. When Superman flies to America, Brainiac's ship comes out of the water. They get to the White House, but no one hurts them there. Lois comes out of the building carrying a city that has shrunk, and Superman flies to her. He asks her how she knew, and she tells him that Lex is always 10 steps ahead of him. She says that he never wanted to make the city the size it was before, but he says that's not true. Brainiac says he has always had the technology to fix the city, but Superman never asked for it. She says that the city shows how Superman wants to control the world as if it were in a jar. He tells her that he wants to stop people from suffering, and then he takes over the city. Brainiac says no when Superman tells him to turn off his weapon system and go home. He attacks Superman and destroys the city he is holding. Brainiac wants to rule the world, so he asks Superman to bring him to America. He throws Superman into a building, and Lex saves Lois from the falling debris. He fights Brainiac with Superman, and Lex uses his technology to break through the force field. Through the hole, Superman gets into the ship and tries to attack Brainiac. He melts the force field around him, breaks a few robot tentacles, and punches Brainiac to death. When Lex walks in, they see that the ship is about to blow up. Lex says that the ship is powered by 6 small black holes that are about to blow up. The blast will be 15 million miles wide, and Superman says he can fly the ship away. He flies under the ship and pushes it out of space. Then he starts flying at supersonic speeds. As he flies, Superman thinks about Svetlana, and he smiles as the ship blows up. At home, Lex says he's retiring and that Superman's death put an end to the Soviet Union. He says that as their friends, they will help the Soviets rebuild their economy. Lois looks around and sees Superman dressed like a regular person. Lex tells everyone that Olsen will take over as president and then says goodbye. He tells Lois that he wants to retire to an island with her. Superman walks through the crowd, turns around, and smiles as he does so. The story is over. Like the story, and click the bell to see more.